Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
The Twins hope to finish off this West Coast road trip as it started with a win. They're taking on the Los Angeles Angels team that looks like they're the best team in baseball right now. They're doing everything well. They haven't lost since the All-Star break. They're hitting, they're pitching, they're fielding, and the Twins are hoping to rebound after 4 straight losses and pick up a win in the road trip finale. And we welcome you to Southern California, Dick Bramer and Jack Morris, as the Twins hope to control this Angel lineup that has been very, very productive. And Mike Trout, a big reason why. He clearly has become, at a very young age, the best player in the game.
Yeah, no question about it. He's an American League MVP, a 2-time All-Star, American League All-Star Team MVP. Mike Trout has got all the tools that everybody's looking for. A combination of speed and power that very few guys have ever possessed. He can drive the ball. He can go get the ball. Here's some of the range that he possesses. Mike Trout can throw the ball, watch this ball off the wall, and makes an absolutely accurate throw all the way to the plate to get the runner coming in from third. He's a guy that everybody's excited about. He's great for the game of baseball, and hopefully the Twins can contain him in this game, because they're going to need to in order to have a chance to win.
Just last week, he became the first guy to ever win back-to-back All-Star Game MVP awards. And we mentioned this road trip from a Twins perspective. They hope it will end as it started, with ERVIN Santana on the mound pitching the Twins to a win. It's been an interesting career for Santana, who, of course, spent most of his career here with the Anaheim Angels, 1 year with the Kansas City Royals, another year with the Braves, and then the Twins jumped in with both feet. They signed Santana to the largest free agent contract in Twins history, and then the suspension that wiped out the first half of his season. Since he's come back, 2 out of 3 starts have been really good. He's been a very consistent pitcher in his major league career, and he came up with a good one in his last time out.
Right, his last start got the Twins off to a good start after the break. He pitched into the 8th inning. He threw nothing but zeros on the boards, and he really commanded his pitches. He helped himself there by fielding his position, threw his good slider, which we've seen in 2 of the 3 games, and he had a very good changeup.
Well, the Twins are hoping that familiarity for Santana will help them to win the ball game here today. With Santana returning to a mound he has pitched very frequently and very well on. It's the final game of the 3-game series between the Twins and the Angels.
Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Chrysler. Enjoy your summer in style with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance event.
Last year, the Angels had a good first half, and then they turned it on in the second half and ran off 98 wins, the most in the American League. And by appearances early on here in the week after the All-Star break, they're intent on doing the same thing again this year. They look really, really good. I think everybody knew this was going to be a tough road trip because you typically run into some good pitching when you come out here, and that was the case in Oakland. But now an Anaheim team that looks like there isn't anybody that's close to them in terms of ability and a vibe going on right now.
It's funny how the game is, and you play a whole season, 162 games. The Angels had a few hiccups along the way in the first half, but somehow they're kind of putting it all together, and it's a good time to be putting it all together. They caught a red-hot Houston Astros team just before the break and went past them, and now it seems as though they're going to try to leave them in the dust. They're a team that's definitely playing well in all aspects of the game right now.
And within the division, things are starting to change. The sands are shifting a little bit. The Oakland A's traded Scott Kazmir today to the Houston Astros.
A team within their own division.
Which is, it's probably more common than it used to be.
Yeah.
If you're Billy Beane and the Oakland A's, you just want the best offer you can get.
And maybe it's a message that Houston's sending saying that, hey, we still believe we are going to be a team that maybe can contend for the division, if not a wild card team.
And there's the trade, the first of who knows how many before the trade deadline at the end of the month. But for the Twins, all that really matters here, they haven't played the Astros yet. They saw enough of Kazmir last weekend in Oakland, and now the possibility, at least, that they'll have to face him 2 more times.
I get a kick out of how they can superimpose those uniforms on guys. we got to get you in an Astro uniform, see what you look like.
A couple of minor leaguers going to Oakland, and quite a 180-degree reversal from where the A's were last year when they were acquiring the veterans and giving up the prospects. This year, just the opposite. Garrett Richards taking the mound here in Anaheim. He's coming off certainly his best start this year, and one of the better starts of his career when he shut out the Red Sox. And there's Aaron Hicks. He's going to be the first man up. Take a look at the Menards batting order, and Aaron Hicks quite thrilled when he found out that he would be the leadoff man today. Brian Dozier getting the starting assignment off. It'll be Hicks followed by Nunez at second base, replacing Dozier in the field. Then Mauer, Sano, Plouffe, Rosario, Robinson, Suzuki, and Danny Santana.
And as you mentioned, Twins will be facing right-hander Garrett Richards. He is making his 18th start of the year and picked up his 10th win. This is one of the game's great young pitchers. He has really possessed a phenomenal fastball. He earned his 10th win on a shutout, a 2-hitter against the Red Sox, and that was his 3rd complete game and 2nd shutout of his career. So he's one of the best in the league right now. He's a strong guy that will throw strikes, and he'll run that fastball up there in the high 90s.
Northland Ford defense for the Angels. They've got the best player in the game out in center field. Matt Joyce is in left. Cole Calhoun, kind of a underpublicized, very good right fielder. In the infield, Taylor Featherston at third, Eric Ibar at short, Johnny Giavotella at second, C.J. Cron at first. Carlos Perez will do the catching. The Twins have seen enough of Chris Iannetta, not so much behind the plate, but at the plate. So the backup catcher will do the catching today for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Win for the Angels last night, but a little bit costly. They lost David Freeze to a broken finger, and will put him on the disabled list. And then the center fielder as well, Daniel Robertson, ended up having to leave the ball game last night after making a nice catch on a Trevor Plouffe drive. He sustained some damage to his right shoulder. Hicks will lead off. A couple of hits last night, and game in and game out, more encouragement that Aaron Hicks is figuring some things out. And he hitting the leadoff spot for Rochester earlier this year, and this is the first time he's had a chance to hit leadoff for the big league club in more than 2 years.
Yeah, we're both anxious to see how Aaron performs here with the opportunity to lead off the game. He's possesses a lot of speed, switch hitter.
And a bunt foul, trying to drop one in front of Featherston. Richards coming off the complete game shutout, as we mentioned, against the Red Sox. Twins got a couple of runs last night, and that's an outburst compared to the Angels and what they have allowed. They've had 3 shutouts already since the All-Star break. Hicks with a liner on one hop, fielded by Ibar, and one away. And that'll bring up Eduardo Nunez. Mike Pelfrey on the mound last night pitching to David Freese, and a lot of people thought that the ball hit the bat, but Freese had x-rays figuring he had broken his thumb, and instead it was the index finger that he broke. And he had a similar injury last year and missed about 3 weeks, and he's hoping it'll be only that period of time again this year.
Angels have recalled Kyle Kubica to replace Freese on the roster right now.
Eduardo Nunez takes a strike. Nunez getting the start at second base.
Yeah, Dozier and Torrey Hunter both getting the day off here. They both could use a break here, a day game in Anaheim.
This time a 2-hopper to Ibar, 2 down. And that'll bring up Joe Mauer. Joe with a couple of hits yesterday. Side of ball. Richards had it going last year, a case where a pitcher got his feet wet in 2011. A few more innings in 2012, a few more in 2013, and then it clicked. Last year he was 13-4 with an ERA of 2.61. And then he blew out his left patellar tendon about a month deeper into the season, and that was the end of his 2014 season.
Yeah, covering first base in a game against Boston, and yeah, put a damper on his season and really kind of put the California or the Los Angeles Angels in a bind. But he's back healthy again and kind of leading the charge while Jared Weaver is recouping from the DL.
Yeah, right now Richards is their ace, and he's hoping to complete a 3-game sweep over the Twins. Mauer takes a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Tapper to the right side, 3 ground ball outs and a 1-2-3 first inning for Garrett Richards.
Suzuki hung on to the foul tip. In fact, I have that as the first strikeout of the night.
And Santana pitched the Twins to a win when this road trip started on a Friday night in Oakland. They have not won since. Santana's outing his finest of the three. 7 2/3 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed, 1 walk, and just the 1 strikeout. Twins won the ball game 5-0. Here's the Angel batting order brought to you by Menards. Johnny GIAVOTELLA, followed by Cole Calhoun, Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, Eric Ibar. C.J. Cron got 4 hits here 2 nights ago. Matt Joyce, Carlos Perez, and Taylor Featherston.
Ervin Santana will make the start for the Twins. It's his 4th start. We talked about his win last time out. He's making his 300th career start.
It's been a chronic problem for the Twins, giving up leadoff hits. And GIAVOTELLA on the first pitch spanks one into right field. Mike Pelfrey could never get on track last night because of the leadoff hits. And now Santana will go right away to the stretch. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Shane Robinson is in left. Aaron Hicks in center. Eddie Rosario swinging from left over to right. Plouffe, Santana, Danny Santana, Eduardo Nunez, Joe Mauer, and Kurt Suzuki around the mound. Well, leadoff man is on, and Cole Calhoun will bat.
Twins seemed like every inning had their leadoff man on via the base hit.
Second pitch hit to the corner. That's caught by Robinson, 1 away. So the Angels in attack mode against their former teammate. First 2 pitches put in play.
Yeah, they must know something about him, that he tries to get ahead and that he's going to throw strikes. So this team is really swinging the bats well, and they're being aggressive early in this game so far.
Mike Trout will bat. Didn't play 2 nights ago. Started the game as a designated hitter last night and was moved into center field when Robertson ended up injuring his shoulder.
Yeah, he was sore heel the other day, and you would think that maybe he would get a day just to DH, but Mike Scioscia threw him in for defense later after the center fielder, Daniel Robertson, made a great play off the wall in center field.
1 strike to Trout. You know, the Angels are blessed because they've got 2 guys that the other team talks about in the pre-series meeting, that we don't want Pujols to beat us and we don't want Trout to beat us. Foul back. When the Twins have pitched those guys, okay, now Pujols has had some hits, a couple of infield hits here 2 nights ago and an RBI double last night, but they haven't been the problem. It's been the guys in front of them and behind them in the batting order.
GIAVOTELLA is one of the guys that has really put the ball in play in the bottom of the lineup. Robertson has done a great job to fill in for Mike Trout in center field. So yeah, it's always those guys that make good contact, and this ball club is just putting the ball in play. They aren't striking out a lot. They're on a hot streak for a reason.
Breaking ball, and Trout's gone on 3 pitches, 2 down.
That's the good slider that we've seen from Santana, and Trout looked like he was trying to lift and separate there, pulling off that ball a little bit. Great location of this slider. And he picks up, Ervin Santana picks up his first strikeout.
And now Pujols back in the DH spot for today's game. Swing and a miss. The Angels surge. I was going to use the word coincide, but I think that's very directly related to Pujols' surge. Game 3.5 weeks ago, I guess it was, somebody had the audacity to walk Mike Trout to pitch to Albert Pujols, and Pujols responded with a big hit, and he hasn't stopped hitting since. And about that time is when the Angels started this push out of second place past the Astros into first place.
Earlier in this series, you mentioned Albert's numbers from last year, and they were pretty remarkable numbers for a guy that kind of went under the radar last year. They signed him in his first year. He was banged up, couldn't produce much. A lot of people thought his career might be over. They were kind of frustrated with Angel ownership for giving him a huge contract when he came from the Cardinals, but the last 2 years he has shown that he's still a productive guy.
And he has said he will be productive through the balance of this contract as long as his legs are healthy. And he's had specifically some foot problems that have suppressed his numbers over the last couple of years, but this year he is healthy.
Well, it just shows how important your legs, your bottom half, are to not only pitchers but hitters also. You can be as strong as anybody upper body wise, but if you can't push and have the balance that you need to stay back, it really can be frustrating.
2-1 to Pujols. Angels won all 7 games between these teams last year and the first 2 this year. Last night, for about 10 minutes, the Twins had a 2-1 lead. And it was the first time the Angels had trailed in 57 innings. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And conversely, the Twins have had leads of about 15 minutes outside of their win Friday in Oakland. The last 4 games have seen the Twins fall behind early and unable to play catch-up. When they haven't been able to sustain those 2-1 leads.
I really think the game in Oakland, where in the 9th inning they took the lead. Saturday,
yep.
In Oakland, where they took the lead and then relinquished the lead, ended up losing the game. That really was a momentum changer. I think had they won that game, they might have been able to sweep Oakland and come in here with a whole lot better frame of mind.
Blocked by Suzuki, and it's a 3-2 count. GIAVOTELLA will leave early from first. Bauer trying to get Santana's attention. He'll play behind the runner.
Sometimes wins can really motivate a team. Losses can really devastate a team. And it can go both ways.
We saw it work the other way after Dozier hit the big home run against the Tigers on Friday, and the Twins were able to ride some momentum. There's a ball lined sharply to center, and GIAVOTELLA will scamper to third base. Off with the pitch because of the full count. He gets an extra base, and Pujols gets another base hit.
Another thing the Angels are doing very well right now is running the bases. They have a lot of speed on this team. Ball's going to be left over middle half. It's down and in, kind of right where Albert loves the ball. He's hit a lot of home runs in that location. And he drives the ball to center field hard, but GIAVOTELLA off with the pitch and just runs in there and hits his face. Aggressive base running gets him over to third.
And the Angels have run the table since the break by getting hits in situations like this. 2-out hits. Twins in that 6-1 homestand got a lot of 2-out hits. We'll see if Santana can retire Ibar here. Down and in, ball 1.
We talk about guys that pitch to situations that are able to rise to the occasion when the game means something. A couple base hits, really, it's going to happen. You're going to have those. Guys are good. That's why they're in the big leagues. But this is where ERVIN Santana, the Minnesota Twins in particular, have to shut down this inning by getting Ibar out.
Away, 2-0.
Now there is a base open. You got Cron on deck. We mentioned that he had 4 hits the other night. So Santana can really pick who he needs to get out, but he needs to make an out right here and get the team off the field.
Fouled away, 2-1. You look at the body of work and you'd say Santana's been a very consistent pitcher, yet in his 8 years here he had a couple of really poor years. He was not a model of consistency, including his last year here in 2012. 9-13, an ERA of over 5, and a lot of home runs allowed. 2-1 to Ibar. Pujols takes off, and the pitch bounced foul. And the Angels, as you said, over the years they've always been known as a good base running team, and in that case, Pujols sensed that Santana wasn't paying much attention to him, and he thought he'd advance into scoring position. Absent the foul ball, he would have had a stolen base.
Well, he got a really good jump. Albert does not run well, but he's a smart base runner, and he took advantage of a situation where Santana wasn't paying attention.
Goes again, and Santana almost quick pitched Ibar there, and he got strike 3. Ibar talking with home plate umpire Rob Drake about whether Santana actually paused in the stretch position. And he definitely did pause in the stretch.
Yeah, just trying to mix up his delivery a little bit. Albert Pujols was getting some good jumps. More importantly, a very good breaking ball to strike out Ibar and get himself out of a big jam early in this game.
Here's Miguel Sano leading off the second inning. Sano with a couple of walks in his return to the lineup last night. Sano takes down and away ball 1. Paul Molitor thought today that Sano could easily have gotten the third walk last night. And he wasn't talking about the green light that he gave Sano in his second at bat. Check swing and a called strike. And I asked Paul today about Sano. I said, you know, guy had 44 big league at bats and he got the green light. Paul said, you know, we want to find out right away what Sano can handle. You're hitting him clean up for a reason, inside 2-1. And even though, you know, literally just a handful of at bats, they gave him the green light and he got a good pitch to hit. He hit it hard, and I think it's just another measure of how much respect the Twins have for this young man. Giving him the green light on 3-0 last night. He didn't expand the zone, and we've seen him show a pretty good eye at the plate in drawing the walks that he has.
Just a small sample size. We really need to give him at least 100 at bats. 500 at bats would be a better judge.
Gonna miss. He strikes out here for the first out of the second. One gone in the second. Let's find Marney Gelb.
Guys, Brian Dozier is not in the Twins starting lineup this afternoon. It's the first time since April he's had a game off. And Dozier today told me he does not like having days off, but he understands the importance of it. He understands Molitor's philosophy behind it. And he said he's going to try to appreciate getting the rest today. Paul Molitor said that he's going to try to find spots to continue to give Dozier a break. They might be rare, but guys, Molitor said there are times when it can really be refreshing to the mind and the body to get a game off.
Well, thank you, Marnie. And Dozier last year, of course, tailed off in the second half, and Brian did his part. He expanded his conditioning and weight training, hoping to not have that happen this year. But I think the manager suggested today that there are going to be more days off in the second half than there were in the first half, in the hopes that Dozier can remain fresher and potent in the second half. 2-0, and Plouffe taps one foul.
Well, Paul Molitor as a player took a lot of days off because he was hurt quite often.
Right.
And I think he understands the importance of that. You know, old school philosophy is you're Cal Ripken, you play every game for 25 years and you see how it all turns out. But that's not the way the game's played anymore.
Popped up, short right center. Calhoun coming in, and now the center fielder Trout, the call and the catch, 2 away.
Jared Richards, a guy we talked about early that throws a lot of fastballs, had an average fastball velocity of 96.4 miles an hour last year, which topped the major leagues for those starters who qualify. And so far in this game, he's been above 95 in a lot of his fastballs. So the Twins are going to have their bats ready. They're not going to see the ball as long in that strike zone.
On the ground. Nice stop at second by GIAVOTELLA, and he throws him out. The Angels doing everything well, and a very tight infield in this series, highlighted by GIAVOTELLA's play to end the second. Tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthDataStrongFan, and you might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. All right, let's see if Ervin Santana can get C.J. Cron. GIAVOTELLA's leadoff single in the first, the 12th leadoff hit for the Angels in this series. Impressive in any case, but they haven't hit in the 9th inning yet. So 17 innings started, and they have 12 leadoff hits. To right field, and Rosario with a sliding catch to get the leadoff man. One down in the second inning.
Now, it took a great effort by the right fielder Eddie Rosario, but he gets a good jump and a good read on this ball. That ball will fall in the majority of the times and be a double. Good effort right there. Now, the Twins need to get on the board first. They haven't done that in a while.
Matt Joyce struggling at the plate. Brings an 0 for 17 into the game. One down in the second.
This is one guy you want to throw the ball over to.
And he goes after the first pitch, popping it foul. And Plouffe has no play. decided to hand the ball to Santana for the first game out of the All-Star break. Turned out to be a good decision because he pitched a great ball game against the A's. It's hit to center. Hicks makes the catch. A couple of well-hit balls here for a couple of quick outs in the second. That'll bring up Carlos Perez.
Well, it was a good decision for Santana because it kept him closer to his regular routine, but everybody else has kind of struggled a little bit, and it's a long rest for the rest of those starters. So I'm not sure if I agree with the whole way it worked out, but I have no say in the matter, and we're going to just go ahead and keep the rotation the way it is for now.
They don't run those things by you?
I never have.
1-0 to Carlos Perez.
I had some say when I was pitching, especially under the Sparky Anderson years. But after that, it was pretty much, here's what we're going to do, Jack, and you're going to pay attention.
Did you like, I think I know the answer to this, but did you like to pitch the first game out of the break? Because I know recently the Twins have had some starters and they preferred not to pitch the first game out of the break. Carl Pavano comes to mind. He was a good pitcher for the Twins, but he did not want to come out of the break and pitch that first game.
Listen, I know that the guys are going to play a little flat coming out of the break.
Foul away.
That's a given because they've had 3 days off in our case, 4 days off now. So you know that they're not going to be in sync the way they are going into the break. With that being said, and maybe it's that cockiness that some pitchers have, arrogance, I don't know what it is. I called it confidence. I figured I had a better chance of shutting that team down than anybody else in our team, and if we could get a few runs, we're going to win the game. So yeah, I wanted the ball.
See, I did know the answer. Here's a 2-out hit for Carlos Perez. Crone and Joyce hit the ball sharply, and Perez just bounces it up the middle for a 2-out single.
The whole lineup hitting the ball well for the Angels. The 2 outs recorded, and we mentioned, were hit well, and now Perez, who has not played in this series up until now, he gets his first hit.
Featherston will hit with 2 outs and a runner aboard. Tapper to short. And Santana has a head-high hop on target to Nunez. That wraps things up in the second inning, and we've got a pair of scoreless innings underway here in Anaheim. National Hot Dog Day, and our Pepsi fan of the game enjoying a dog. Dip into the ketchup, keeping it in the bun, unlike the young man we had here the other night.
Well, at least so far.
So far, that's true. Now, you have enjoyed a hot dog or two in your time?
Yes, I have.
Now, what do you put on your hot dog?
I'm strictly a mustard guy.
Ugh.
I might put a little onion on if it's good, sweet onion. I don't enjoy relish, and ketchup is for hamburgers.
Okay, I was afraid how you were going to finish that. Here's Shane Robinson. Swing and a miss, 1 strike. Robinson, Suzuki, and Santana. Twins have yet to get a base runner against Garrett Richards.
You don't like mustard on your hot dogs?
I don't like anything. Now, I'll put sauerkraut on a bratwurst.
Well,
but that's because of my German heritage.
You could go to that Nathan's hot dog contest then and just dip them in water and go for it, because they don't put anything on them either.
But they eat, what, 65, 70 hot dogs in whatever it is, 14 minutes?
Start training.
2 strikes. And a tapper, left side. Featherston scoops and fires and just barely got Robinson at first base. 1 away. Good play by Featherston.
Another example of why the Los Angeles Angels are playing good baseball. That's 7 straight recorded for Garrett Richards, and a great defensive play by the replacement third baseman to get the first out of the 3rd inning.
And now Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki got the night off last night. And down and away, ball 1. The average down substantially from a year ago. Kurt was one of the top run producers on the team last year, hitting over 300 a year ago at this point. And he takes up and in, 2-0.
No question that he had one of his best years offensively last year for the Twins. Was in the All-Star game.
Popped up left side. Suzuki got a 2-0 pitch to his liking, and now calling off the shortstop Ibar. Joyce comes in to make the catch. 2 down. That'll bring up Danny Santana, who had another interesting night last night.
Yeah, you know, he got a couple hits offensively, which is a plus, and then defensively he had a couple mistakes. A tough throw right there, and then this ball that was up the middle. Both Dozier and Santana did not communicate well. Created another run scoring opportunity for the Angels.
Santana takes down and in, ball 1.
The Twins doing a lot to be patient with Danny Santana. You almost have to, after the year that he had last year, especially the second half. You saw how good this young man could become, and the Twins are just hoping that he can regain that form. Mentally, I think it's starting to tax him a little bit, and he's going through those times where the demons are talking to him, but he needs to find a way to remember the good, because he was good, and he was a spark plug, and he could run, and he could hit the ball, and he could catch the ball.
Wasn't a full season, but it was over 400 at bats worth. 1 and 2.
I know, as I was traveling around baseball last year, when we'd go into other ball clubs, you know, a lot of people that I know in the game were asking me about Danny Santana, and they really liked what they saw. And there's a big difference there if you look at those numbers between last year and this year.
Chopped up the right side. Richards flips and thrown. With the catch, a perfect first trip through the batting order for Garrett Richards.
Don't miss MLB Whip Around on Fox Sports 1. Highlights, instant analysis, live look-ins from around the league. MLB Whip Around is weeknight 6 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Marty Gellner, Jack Morris, Dick Bramer here in Southern California. Twins have lost 4 games in a row. Only once this year have they lost 5 in a row. And they'd like to win today for a number of reasons. A big homestand coming up. Nice to end the losing streak on the road rather than have to try to do it against the Yankees tomorrow night. GIAVOTELLA takes strike 1. Singled in the first pitch of the game. The 12th leadoff hit for the Angels in this series. To center. And Hicks over a few steps. 1 down. Talked about Santana and his final year here. And the Angels had the resources to re-sign him, but chose not to because, in part, he went 9-13, an ERA of 5.16, and in 178 innings, he gave up 39 home runs. And had he tacked on another 100 innings, as Bert Blyleven did in 1986, he might have shattered Bert's record for home runs allowed in a season. 39 home runs in 178 innings. That's a lot. Like one every.
And this is not exactly I think this is a fair ballpark. I don't think it's a pitcher-friendly or a hitter-friendly park. It's legit. You hit it out, it'll go, but it's not exactly a bandbox either. So they're legit, I guess. The home runs that were given up, at least in this ballpark that year, were legit.
But this ballpark plays differently during the day than it does at night. The ball seems to jump out of here a lot quicker, farther than during the evening. Down and in.
No, it's certainly apparent early in this ball game, and it's only the 3rd inning, but Garrett Richards goes through the Twins lineup in order, and ERVIN Santana looks like he's getting a little bit dialed in, so this could be a low-scoring game. Hopefully the Twins will figure out a way to get on board first.
Santana gets another strikeout. He only struck out 1 in his outing in Oakland, and he's picked up his 3rd strikeout here. All of them swinging strikeouts.
Good slider on this last pitch. Under the hands right there of Cole Calhoun. Very good location, good movement.
Carsoup.com trivia question: who was the last Angel to lead the American League in home runs in a season? And I know that one. And the name, I think, will surprise you. Strike at the knees. Had a chance to talk with Trout a little bit yesterday. He still keeps in contact with his host family in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Cedar Rapids in the fringes of Twins territory. Of course, the Twins Class A affiliate in the Midwest League now is in the Cedar Rapids Colonels. Trout was there just a few years ago.
And Santana has thrown a couple very good breaking balls. Trout a little frustrated with himself for chasing those. And now with 2 strikes, we'll see how he wants to go about it. Will he straighten them up, try to go up and in? Because Trout likes the ball belt high down and in.
Struck him out twice on 6 pitches. And a good inning for Santana as the Angels go down 1-2-3. or so he thought, until his terrible injury toward the end of August. Got to the bag and stumbled and buckled, and that was the end of his year with a torn patellar tendon. The Angels went on to win 98 games, but of course they were eliminated by the Royals, did not get to the World Series. Richards healthy, pitching very well, coming off a complete game shutout of the Red Sox. 3 perfect innings so far today. He'll face Aaron Hicks leading off the 4th. That's to left center field, slicing away from Trout, but he reaches and pulls it down. The ball sailed on him a little bit, and Hicks nearly split the gap, but Trout caught it one away.
Yeah, that ball was going to be going away from Mike Trout, and it shows how he can close the gap. His speed and just instincts for routes. The ball's, like we said, it was tailing away from him, left-handed hitter. And Mike Trout, a couple extra steps, that final leap, good defensive play.
There's Nunez, who hit a 2-hopper to Ibar his first time up. A strike. Nunez with obviously a rare start at second base.
It's a rare start for any Twin to play second base. Dozier's been out there most of the time.
Pitch hit to left. Joyce with the catch, 2 down.
Off the end of the bat. So Richards continues to pound the strike zone and get outs.
Bring up Mauer, who tapped out to the second baseman GIAVOTELLA. Actually, GIAVOTELLA's had a couple of plays, that a routine one. He took a hit away from Rosario with a great play in the second.
Joe Mauer reached first base on a very good effort by GIAVOTELLA last night. But Albert Pujols dropped the ball at first base. It was ruled an error on Albert. But a great play to get to the ball.
Outside, ball 1. After this game, the Angels come to Minnesota in the middle of September for a 4-game series. Mauer takes a strike. Checked his swing. 2-1. Last year the Twins had the same setup with the Angels. They lost all 3 games here and all 4 games at Target Field. Won the season series the year before, winning 5 out of the 6 games. Now 9 straight wins for the Angels against the Twins, and Mauer fouls it back.
Well, one could argue, and I'm a firm believer, that this Angel team has been a lot better the last 2 years than they were 3 and 4 years ago. The Twins certainly better this year than their last 4 years. But as you progress from a young team, and this is a relatively young team, even though Torrey Hunter is the old man.
There's a base hit with Mauer slashing one to the corner.
Oh,
Joyce falls down in the corner, and he'll get the ball back to the infield. Mauer has a 2-out double. Joyce, well, he tipped over crossing the line down there.
Yeah, he's wearing a little white. The puff ball working. Take another look at it as the ball's shot past Featherston at third base and gets down into the corner. Joyce does a little belly flop right there on the line.
He must have stopped the ball or made contact with it, because he went down, and if the ball had
gotten by him,
Mauer would have had perhaps a trip around the bases. Here is Sano, the runner at second, and 2 down. Strike over the inside corner.
Where I was going with my comments, though, Twins players like Sano and Rosario, Santana, young players, as they play these good baseball teams, these teams that have been in first place and are currently in first place, you've kind of got to judge yourself against them. And the Angels put a whooping on the Twins last year. I think that's fair to say. And how long you tolerate that is up to you. I think I look back at the teams that I was on when we were young. We'd go in and get whooped by the good teams. And after a while, you just get tired of it. And you realize you can play with anybody. You beat up on other teams. So you start playing the game and relax and confident in your own abilities. And you play the game against the good teams, and sure enough, you start winning. At least you play 500. And then it becomes fun, knowing that, hey, this is the challenge. We want to beat the good teams. We know we can beat the poor teams. We want to beat the good teams. And that's what makes championship teams.
2-1. Well, not to bring up a haunting memory, but the Twins saw that from the early to the mid-'80s to the late '80s with your Detroit Tigers. The Twins could not beat the Tigers. You guys were good. Won the World Series in '84. I think in one of the years, you guys ran the table on the Twins, won the entire season series, and that, from a Minnesota perspective, forgive me, Jack, was one of the things that made the playoff win so sweet, because a couple years before that, the Tigers absolutely owned the Twins, and Sano draws a walk.
Yeah, another good at-bat for Miguel Sano. Absolutely. We were very confident. In fact, I think to a fault, overconfident playing the Twins in the postseason in '87.
Right? Okay.
Because we had handled them quite easily during the regular season, but it showed that it doesn't matter what the season's about. You've got to play every game the same way. And I have to admit to your good friend and mine, Danny Gladden, all the time, who reminds us that, they've beat us fair and square.
That was just ball 3 to Sano, and he'll get a chance to swing here, and checks his swing, and now he takes ball 4.
See what I mean? Just talk your way through it.
And now Plouffe will hit with 2 men aboard.
And he fooled me too.
Plouffe with a fly ball to center. We've seen the A's do it in the last 2 games of the series in Oakland and here in the first 2 games in Anaheim. Struggles can be quickly reversed when you start getting some 2-out hits. Now the Twins have 1 on the Mauer double. Sano draws another walk, and the Twins need to camp off this 2-out rally with a good at bat from Trevor Plouffe. Foul back, strike.
First scoring opportunity for the Twins. It's the first inning that they've had any base runners.
Angels had a chance in the first inning and with a pair of singles. Sano drawing his 12th walk on the season. That is foul. We don't want to suggest that Sano is by any means polished, because his strikeout in the second inning was also his 21st strikeout in 47 at bats. But if he can continue to stay in the strike zone and force pitchers to throw it over the plate, he should put up some awfully big numbers. 2 strikes to Plouffe. Blocked by Perez, 1-2. Trevor scuffling right now. And you get guys in the middle of your lineup who are struggling. That's how short losing streaks are developed.
Well, Trevor came through with a big home run to help win that first game after the break. And I think you're absolutely right. The 2-out hits, the opportunities when they get them.
There's a drive to left field. Joyce back to the wall. It's gone. A 3-run home run for Trevor Plouffe. And that is a huge 2-out hit.
Exactly what we're talking about right there. Putting a good swing on a ball. Game momentum changer. The Twins on the board now first. ERVIN Santana has got 3 runs to work with. Garrett Richards has just been on cruise control through 3 innings, but all with 2 outs, the Twins We're able to get a double, a walk, and then a big 3-run homer by Trevor Plouffe.
No doubter into the bullpen. And now here is Rosario. Rosario drops down a bunt. Featherston, bare hands, fires and makes a fine play, getting Rosario to end the inning. But after the second out, a Mauer double, a Sano walk, and a home run by Plouffe.
By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here.
Trevor Plouffe with a grand slam in Oakland and a 3-run home run here. He only has 4 hits on the road trip, but a couple of big ones.
And ERVIN Santana, the beneficiary of both of those. So Twins need him to have a shutdown inning, get the guys right back in the dugout, keep the momentum on the Twins side.
Santana's coming off a 1-2-3 third. He'll face Pujols, Ibar, and Crone in the 4th. Down low, ball 1. Pujols single to center with 2 outs in the first. And now a strike 1-1. Twins fans would like to believe, for that matter Terry Ryan would like to believe, that as we work through July, August, and September, popped up short center field, and Hicks got a late break, and he came in to make the play. I think he anticipated the infielders, specifically the shortstop Santana, would go back on that ball. And so Hicks, who was playing out near the warning track, had to sprint in to make the catch. What was Danny Santana on this?
Well, Hicks playing deep with Pujols, and that ball hit high. I'm not sure he got a good read on it initially, but the ball was hit so high that Hicks has plenty of time to run it down.
1 down, that'll bring up Ibar. Everybody involved with the Twins is hoping that they will play meaningful games through July. There's a ground ball to first. Mauer gets a pickup, and Santana right there, 2 down. And that beyond the meaningful status of the games, that ERVIN Santana will provide a veteran, fresh arm to help pitch in big ball games like the one here today. Can't do anything about the first 80 games anymore, but you do have someone who typically has pitched 200 or more innings, and he's just getting his season started in the back end of July.
And because of the way the rules are stated and the price that he's going to have to pay, he will not be eligible for postseason, but that doesn't mean that he can't be a contributor to help get him there. And that's what the Twins are hoping.
1 strike to Crone. just the 42nd pitch for Santana. He's seen the Angels from the very first inning be in attack mode.
Those are very efficient numbers right there. It's getting better every inning.
Check swing. And no appeal. 2-1. Way out in front of the breaking ball. 2-2.
We've seen the slider from Irvin, a very, very good slider in his first start against Kansas City. Then he had a very good one the other night in Oakland. It seems like that's a go-to pitch again. Just really good command down and away. He's not missing over the plate. There was a fastball that he tried to straighten up C.J. Cron. That's a good pitch. It serves a purpose.
Especially at 95 miles per hour. Full count with 2 gone in the 4th. Hit to center and hits. Tracks it down short of the track. Another 1-2-3 inning. A shutdown inning for Santana with a 3-0 lead. A 3-0 lead for the Twins as they hope to leave Anaheim with a win, hoping to end a 9-game losing streak to the Angels. Shane Robinson takes down and away ball 1. Now we'll see what the Twins can do, whether they can do what the Angels have done so successfully, and that is continue adding on runs. That really was the story of the game last night. Angels quickly retook the lead 3-2, but they added a couple of important insurance runs, and that's what the Twins might need to do here in the middle innings.
The good teams keep the pressure on. They don't just let off after they get a lead, and Angels certainly have been playing very good baseball. We've got a lot of baseball left in this game, but Twins got on the board first. And like you just mentioned, Dick, it'd be nice for them to add on.
So far on this road trip, the Twins have scored in just 6 innings. Let's see if they can add on here. Popped up, foul. It'll reach the seats, 2-2. Couple of home runs Friday. Dozier with a 2-run single last night. And a 3-run home run by Plouffe here an inning ago. Two and 2 to the Twins left fielder. foul. Another 2-2 to Robinson. And he takes a breaking ball in the outside corner. One down. Now to bring up Suzuki. Twins and Mariners playing at Target Field July 30th through August 2nd. Friday night includes Friday night fireworks, music presented by Cool 108, and a special happy hour at Barrio from 4:30 to 5:30. Saturday is a DQ Sensational Saturday. Sunday is a Super America Knothole Kids Day. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com and get your tickets today. Here's Suzuki. 2-0 pitch lifted to left field his first time up. Short left field, caught by Joyce. And he takes strike one. And now strike two.
Richards has only walked one guy in this game, and that was Miguel Sano. And Sano walked in front of Plouffe in the game in which Plouffe hit the grand slam up in Oakland. He walks in front of Plouffe in this game. Only walk that Richards has allowed.
And backhanded. Well, Ibar couldn't scoop it up. Suzuki rolls a single to the left side with one out in the fifth.
Shortstop, number 39, Danny Santana.
That'll bring up Danny Santana.
One thing that the Angels have done well is all aspects of the lineup, top, middle, bottom, have all been contributing. It'd be nice to see the Twins in the bottom part of the lineup. They did score a couple runs. The 2 runs they scored last night were in the bottom third of the lineup. Maybe that can happen here.
Santana dribbled one on a full swing up the first baseline. Richards made a good play to get him and retire the Twins in the third. Double play grounder. And on one pitch, Richards takes care of Suzuki's single. It's 3-0 Twins.
This afternoon. He pitched here for 8 years in Anaheim. He was traded away after the 2012 season. He has not pitched here in Anaheim since then until this afternoon. He told me yesterday that he was all smiles walking through the hallways and seeing old familiar faces here. He said he was excited to be here, and the word he used was energized. He thought he would be very energized in his start today. He also said he was very comfortable here because he knows the mound, knows the ballpark, even just knowing the area. So Dick and Jack, I would say everything that Ervin Santana said about being comfortable and feeling good in this ballpark is translating in his start so far today.
Absolutely. So far, so good. The only trouble he's run into in this game came in the very first inning. The Angels got a leadoff hit and a 2-out hit, but left runners at first and third. 1 strike to Matt Joyce. Check swing, 1-1. Strike 2, says third base umpire Kerwin Danley. I thought Joyce had checked. Shows you what I know. And now with 2 strikes, Plouffe runs over to the right side of the infield. 1-2. While with the Angels, Santana threw the first no-hitter for the Angels in nearly 30 years. We'll go back to Nolan Ryan to find the most recent no-hitter. There's a check swing. And Joyce strikes out for the first out of the 5th.
Santana just continues to throw that excellent slider. That's his 5th strikeout. Here's the pitch again. Same spot for the left-handers, under their belt, back foot slider.
Run or skate in the RBC Race for the Kids Minnesota Half Marathon and 5K, benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities, Upper Midwest, Saturday, August 1st. The top fundraiser wins a trip for 2 to Grand Cayman. For more details, visit foxsportsnorth.com, click on upcoming events. I can't even read one promo without falling behind on the count. It's 1-1. This guy's working quick and throwing strikes.
Yeah, they had a shift for Plouffe, and Santana threw the ball before Plouffe even got set.
Behind second, Nunez out in short center field, makes the catch. 2 down. If you're going to beat a team, any team, you've got to sometimes play flawless baseball. That's especially true if you're going to beat the Angels the way that they're playing. You've got to pitch better. You've got to not make mistakes. And Twins made plenty of mistakes in the first 2 games of the series, and now midway through this game, the Twins have played pretty much a flawless game.
That's why there's so much importance on that dominant starter. They call them the stoppers, the guys that can go out there and end a 3-4 game losing streak. Just take the bull by the horns and say, not today, guys.
Strike 2. Santana's gotten strike 1 on the first pitch 15 times in 18 plate appearances. Remember, Kyle Gibson had just the opposite situation in the series opener here Monday night, or Tuesday night. Swing and a miss, and Santana makes quick work of the Angels again.
3-0 here as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Don't forget, at Twins Homes games, bring your Circle Me signs, and if you get circled, you may find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle, where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
Aaron Hicks will lead off the 6th inning for the Twins. Hicks with a bouncer to short. He lined out to Mike Trout, drove one to the gap in left center field. Trout cut the ball off and had to reach high at the end of his run to pull it down. Strike one.
Well, we got a pretty good pitchers duel going on here. A pair of 3 hits apiece. One home run by Plouffe kind of being the difference maker, but both pitchers have had a quick-paced game where they've just attacked the strike zone. Only 1 walk in the game so far.
And Hicks takes outside. 1-1.
I wonder if Hicks might try bunting again. Featherston's playing back on the 3rd base side. Maybe he could pull the ball.
There's a bunt foul again, and Hicks claps his hands together in disgust. Good call.
Well, I know Paul Molitor would like to see the Twins bunt a little bit more here during this scoring drought. Maybe try to get something going, and Hicks is certainly one of the candidates to do that.
1-2 now to Hicks, then Nunez and Mauer. Back to the mound, easy play for Richards, who drops the ball and picks it up and flips to first. And that'll get us to Eduardo Nunez. You can follow live Twins baseball every day with MLB.com @bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected to the Twins all season with MLB.tv Game of the Day, in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, and more. Browse the app's new features, including StatCast tracking videos and bilingual access for Spanish-speaking fans. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Here's Nunez. Bouncer to short and fly to left. Strike one on a breaking ball. Paul Molitor explaining why Nunez, why not Escobar, and one of the reasons is the Twins feel that Nunez has a better chance of catching up with Richards' fastball. Now he hasn't seen many of them. Now with a 1-1 count. Another tapper. And Richards fires. Nunez retired. 2 assists for the pitcher and 2 down in the 6th.
First baseman, number 7, Joe Mauer.
That'll bring up Mauer. There were 2 out in the 4th.
Well, there it is right there. His high fastball, 97 miles an hour, and his off-speed pitch at 20 miles an hour less. Breaking ball pretty much in between the 2 of those. So Richard, he's got it going again today. Unfortunately, he made the one mistake to Plouffe for him. And again, with 2 outs, Joe Mauer takes the chance. Maybe he can get it going for the 2nd time.
Off the plate, ball 1. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Joe just swung through that fastball. Looked like it was in a very hittable location.
Back 1-2. Bounce right side, picked up by Crone. And for Richards, 2 assists and a putout in a 1-2-3 6th inning.
And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's. With $1.69 iced coffees and 69-cent vanilla cones, you can get Totes Treats excited all summer long at McDonald's.
Trevor Plouffe's 3-run home run, giving Ervin Santana a lead in the middle innings. And you wanted a shutdown inning after Santana got the lead. How about 2, 1, 2, 3 innings on just a handful of pitches? That's pretty good.
Yeah, 6 strikeouts for Santana, and none of them required more than 4 pitches.
Gets ahead of Giavotella on a swing and a foul. 1 strike. Giavotella with one of the 3 Angel singles. Swing and a miss.
You would think that the Angels would see that he's throwing a lot of breaking balls, and most of those have been off the plate, and yet they're swinging out of the zone. So when you got it going, stay with it, right? They're not hitting it.
0-2.
Wow. 2 in a row off the plate.
A 3-pitch strikeout of Giavotella, 11 in a row, set down by Santana.
You can see the location here.
First
First
pitch was in the
strike, and after that, go fish.
1 down. Here's Calhoun. Tapped foul, and Santana 4 pitches, 4 strikes here in the 6th. This is the opposite of what Mike Pelfrey experienced last night, when with all the leadoff hits, it just seemed like every inning was, you know,
out of the stretch and time delay.
Yeah, it took forever. Nothing was moving along at all. And Santana, my goodness, he gets so far at least has gotten the Twins off the field almost as quickly as they've been on it. Oh, what a catch by NUñEZ, who timed his leap perfectly. And when you do that, you tend to get good plays, don't you?
When you're working at a fast pace and everybody's on their toes, the defense seems to be more into the game. Certainly a great effort right there, but well-timed and a big play. It keeps the Twins closer into the dugout now.
2 down, and now Mike Trout with the bases empty. Santana has struck out Trout twice on 6 pitches. We've talked a little bit throughout the telecast here in Anaheim about how Trout and Pujols both might hit 50 home runs. Be the first teammates to do that since Mantle and Maris in '61. 1-0. 2-0. Carsoup.com trivia question. I believe the answer is Troy Glaus. 47 home runs in 2000. Power hitting third baseman. Swing and a miss. But we've also talked about Pujols and his ability to be productive without striking out. And that's where he and Trout are complete different ball players. Trout, with 2 strikeouts today, has 93. And Santana is 1 pitch away from getting strikeout number 94. And 346 at bats for Trout. Pujols has never struck out more than 93 times. And a base hit to left on the 2-2 pitch. That breaks a string of 12 straight. Set down by Ervin Santana. And now Pujols will come to the plate with a man aboard.
One thing that both Trout and Pujols have done is hit home runs in the same game, and that is a scary thought, really. Quickly, these guys can kind of self-destruct a team. They've done it 7 times this year. It's just never a breather. You know, you get 2 strikeouts of Mike Trout, and you think, I've got this guy, and he throws the same pitch, and Trout is able to rip it through the left side because he makes an adjustment. I totally agree with what you're saying about Pujols. This guy makes contact. He's got a different swing with 2 strikes than he does when he's ahead in the count. And he's able to shorten up. He's so strong. He's He will shoot the ball the other way when he's behind in the count. On the other hand, Trout seems to always want to try to pull the ball. He will go. He's got great power to the other side, but you got to throw him there for him to do it.
And a strike on the outside corner. What Pujols put together in 2006, an historic season. Pujols hit .331, 49 home runs, 137 runs batted in, and he struck out 50 times. 1-1.
That's a good throw over right there. Mike Trout, excellent base runner, tremendous speed. You've got to give Kurt Suzuki a chance. Keep him honest over there. You don't want anybody to be kind of caught sleeping.
Bouncer left side. Santana bobbles it. Throws to first, still gets Pujols. A nearly costly error, and Santana, to his credit, after the bobble, didn't panic. Knew he had time to throw out Pujols to end the sixth. Up 3-0.
Trevor Plouffe with 2 on, 2 out, able to connect on a 1-ball, 2-strike count and put the Twins up 3-0. That's the only scoring in this game, and Ervin Santana has been brilliant. His breaking ball has just been excellent. It seems like the Angels just haven't been able to adjust. Ervin's got 7 strikeouts through 6 innings.
Miguel Sano will lead off the 7th for the Twins. Middle of the Twins lineup, Sano, Plouffe, and Rosario. Check swing, ball 1. I'll be guilty of overstating the walks that Sano has accumulated, but yet an important one in the 4th inning with 2 outs. Got aboard in front of Plouffe's home run. Now 2-0.
Oh, a real good hitters count here now.
Over the inside corner. People who like the new math of baseball know what BABIP is. Batting average on balls in play. Does not, something I don't understand why it doesn't include home runs, but here's Sano lifting one to short center. And Trout over to make the catch. You take the strikeouts out. And Sano's BABIP is pretty good. With 12 hits. And let me do the math here. 25 now at bats. 1 down. Here's Trevor Plouffe.
I don't know anything about Babbitt, but Richards was hurt on a 1-2 pitch to Plouffe. And this year he had been 10 for 61, a 164 average without a home run or RBI when putting Richards in a 1-2 pitch in play. Plouffe, on the other hand, had been on a 1-2 pitch, had been 5 for 55. So it shows that, hey, the math isn't there, doesn't seem to work, but on one pitch, all those stats can change.
And 3 runs scored.
Yeah. It's not supposed to happen, but guess what? Play the game, it happens.
1-1. Plouffe hitting his 13th home run of the year. At the end of the bat, you do, I suppose, hope, if not expect, that if you're going to take 2 of your top run producers out, as the Twins have here today, Dozier and Hunter, that the Plouffes of the world, Mowers, would step things up and find a way to get it done. And so far, that's exactly what's happened. Mowers 2-out double eventually set up Plouffe and his home run. And Plouffe takes a called third strike, 2 down. That'll bring up Eddie Rosario. Spend your summer at Target Field. Become a Twins season ticket holder with a new Pick 10 plan. You pick 10 games against the opponents you want to see the Twins beat at Target Field, and you can enjoy sweet spot benefits exclusive to Twins season ticket holders, including 10% off game day food and merchandise at Target Field. Learn more about package options. Visit twinsbaseball.com/pick10 or call 612-33-TWINS. Here's Rosario. He takes a strike.
I think it's an interesting way of analyzing. Obviously, today's math in the game is important as far as understanding backgrounds. But old school technology would have said one of 2 things. Trevor Plouffe, in situations like that one that he hit the home run on, managers might not want him to take a swing. He might even actually take the bat out of his hands and say, hey, take a pitch. Not with 1-2, but in situations similar to that. But other managers might say he's due.
And strike 3. And Perez fires to first. That ends the 7th.
Quick inning.
7 in a row sent down by Garrett Richards, but it's still 3-0 Twins. We have selected the Data Strong Fan photo of the game. You can tweet your strongest fan photo to #NorthDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. Randy offering his photo, brought to you by T-Mobile. Santana about to throw his 70th pitch of the outing. It's ball 1. He's gotten 18 outs. Eric Ibar struck out in the first, hit a ground ball to Mauer in the 4th. Bouncing inside 2-0. Santana gave up a hit to Trout but got Pujols. Popped up. And Plouffe staring up into the sun, crossing the foul line twice, makes the catch one away. And you'd like to think that you won't have to face those guys more than once as you get to this point of the ball game.
Ervin Santana has been very impressive so far today. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of great sliders. He's getting ahead of counts, very low pitch count, and not extending innings. Not a lot of base runners for the Angels today in a team that's been red hot. So combination of great pitching, good solid defense. The Twins are in control right now.
Cron thought he was going to get a fastball, but he didn't.
Shocker. Surprise.
One strike. And this one, a breaking ball off the plate, taken for ball one.
It amazes me how guys can have confidence in one pitch and a go-to pitch for Santana. It has been and will be for a while. His slider, when it's good, it's very good.
There must be something deceptive about it, though, because he got Trout twice. Not Trout's a strikeout guy, but roller left side, scooped up by Plouffe.
Well,
on target to Mauer.
It's exactly the same delivery as his fastball. So the hitter is seeing fastball delivery. He's seeing the ball come out of his hands until they can pick up that spin, which is not, you're talking fractions of a second to pick up that spin. And he locates it so well. So far, so good.
Just 4 singles, no walks. It's been Santana's second outstanding start on this road trip. In Oakland, 7 2/3 innings, just 5 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
1 strikeout his last outing and 7 here today.
A fastball, 94 miles per hour on the outside corner.
He threw a lot of changeups in that game in Oakland, and today the slider is his go-to pitch. But I think it's also the pace of the game on both sides. The Twins haven't really torn the cover off the ball. Garrett Richards has been working quick, and that just kind of falls right into Santana. He's getting to the mound, he's working quick, he's getting ahead. Very good pace of game.
On an 0-2 pitch, Joyce rather, is hit by a pitch.
Well, another slider, and this one he really did get the back foot. Call it a back foot slider, and literally that one came in and nipped him. Right on the inside of the back leg.
And that'll bring up Carlos Perez, who has 1 of the 4 Angel hits. Again, they're all singles. The Twins have only 3 hits, but they have a couple of extra base hits. And not the guy you want to hit. Joyce 0 for his last 19, and on an 0-2 pitch, Santana put him to first base. Here's Perez. Strike at the knees.
That slider that hit Joyce, though, is a pitch that his last at bat he really got in, and Joyce swung right over the top of it, so he wanted to make sure he didn't leave it out over the plate. I think that's smart pitching. If you're going to miss off the plate, and that's exactly what he did, and that one just got in a little too far. But you're better off getting in there than leaving one out over the middle.
Strike. It's hit to right. And Rosario is there for the catch. So the hit batter only cost Santana 2 additional pitches. He's got 7 shutout innings here. Twins leading 3-0. park and maybe trying to stave off a fire sale. There's increasing thought that the Tigers, instead of being buyers as they have been, might actually be sellers with players like David Price, who got a standing ovation when he came off the mound at Comerica Park. Tiger fans know what's going on. It might be the last time they see him in a Tiger uniform. Same too for Yoenis Cespedes, who is a free agent after this year.
Well, last time Cashmere pitched was against the Twins up in Oakland, and he is now a member of the Houston Astros. So
he'll make his first Houston start. He's a Houston native, but he'll make his first Houston start against the Royals this weekend. One strike to Shane Robinson, who asked for time and was not given time. Plate umpire Rob Drake, with Robinson asking for time, wouldn't give it to him, and Robinson had to step back in the box and take strike two.
Well, it's when you take and ask for time. The pitcher's already in his motion. The umpire does not need to get it to him, and I for one agree with him. Don't make the pitcher stop. When he's already started, be ready to hit.
At least Robinson had the presence of mind to get back in the box and pay attention. The ball lined to center field.
There you go.
Little retribution for Shane Robinson. A sharp single to center.
You don't like what the umpire did? Do that.
Number 8, Suzuki.
The first of how many trades, it's anybody's guess, but the icebreaker before the trade deadline. Oakland trading Scott Kazmir to the Houston Astros for 2 prospects. And who would have guessed at the start of this year that the Astros would be the first player to acquire a veteran before the All-Star or before the trading deadline?
Well, I don't think it's a shock that Billy Beane is Trader Joe.
It's just, as we said, a 180-degree different type of trade than the ones he made last year. Here's Suzuki. And a step off, maybe seeing if Suzuki might give away a bunt here. I would think this would be a bunting situation. Suzuki singled his last time up. He has some speed on first, and you'd like to have that speed at second base. Featherstone playing, or Featherston playing a deep third base. And now a throw over, and Suzuki, if he is bunting, didn't give it away again.
Talking to Terry Ryan today, he was indicating that the old bunt him over or get him to third base with nobody out, those days are gone. They want the guys to hit the ball and drive in the run.
Some dives back safely.
And it's another example of how baseball and philosophy of the game is changing. Years ago, through the 40s and 50s, you'd want to, as we watch him throw behind Shane Robinson trying to pick him off, but you'd want to bunt a guy into scoring position and hope that you got 2 chances to get him in. But they don't want to give up that chance. They don't want to give away the out anymore. They would like to have 3 chances to get him in, and a double here might score Robinson.
Robinson tries to steal second, and he will steal with Perez unable to handle the pitch cleanly.
And now, that's exactly what we're talking about. Robinson steals the bag. Now he is in scoring position. So if Suzuki had bunted him over, you waste an out. They go ahead and steal Robinson. He gets there successfully. Now he's in scoring position.
And we'll see if Suzuki bunts, trying to get Robinson up to third base.
Well, if he does, everything I just said, just disregard.
Well, Featherston's coming in a few steps. We'll see what happens here on the 1-1 pitch. Suzuki tries to shoot one to the right side, lifting it foul instead. 1-2. I think we've seen this year that Paul Molitor, who was a bunter himself, has even more of an appreciation for the short game, if you will, than Ron Gardenhire, his predecessor. Trying to encourage more bunting, but not here now with a 1-2 count. Backhanded by Perez.
For Paul, I think it's more bunt with the element to surprise than the predictability of when You know, I think that's one of the, base running, I think Paul preaches that, is when they least expect it, take the extra bag. When they're not looking for a bunt and it's a situation where you can lay one down, go ahead and try it. That's the element that Paul brings.
And now 3-2, Santana on deck. Suzuki with a single his last time up. Hoping to get the Twins an insurance run here in the 8th. And he takes ball 4.
Very good at bat.
First and second, nobody out for Santana.
Shortstop, number 39,
Second walk of the game for Garrett Richards.
Meeting on the mound. Quick trip to the mound. Left side of the infield, and the catcher Perez talking it over with Garrett Richards. And we'll see if Santana is asked to bunt. Santana 0 for 2, bounced into a double play his last time up. Santana, one of the fastest guys on the team, but he has grounded into 7 double plays this year.
A little activity now in the Angel bullpen. It's right-hander Mike Morin.
Crone in on the grass at first base. Featherston not far off the grass at third. Santana with a bunt and a good one. Perez throws to first. 2 runners in scoring position now for Aaron Hicks. The sacrifice didn't come from the 8th place hitter, but very quickly from the 9th place hitter, and Santana got the job done.
I think one of the reasons Paul put the bunt on there with Santana and not Suzuki is you got the runner in scoring position at second base. Suzuki does a good job of working the walk. They're going to go ahead and intentionally walk. The base is loaded now with Aaron Hicks. But with Santana on the plate, he hits the ball a lot on the ground and, potentially could be a double play ball. So by bunting, it stays out of the double play. You move the runners in scoring position. And now Mike Scioscia wants to put the double play back in order by walking Aaron Hicks with 1 out.
Well, so far it's worked out great for the Twins and Paul Molitor. Instead of having 1 out and a runner at second, there's 1 out and the bases are loaded for Eduardo Nunez.
Another pitcher up and warming for the Angels. It'll be left-hander Cesar Ramos. So Ramos the left-hander and Morin the right-hander throwing in the Angel bullpen.
Nunez is 0 for 3. He's hit 2 ground balls. Most recently, a comebacker to the mound. And here is Mike Butcher. I've made it almost entirely through this series without misidentifying him as former Twin John Butcher.
Well, a couple Butchers and a Baker, and away we go.
That's right. If you get them to pitch, could have had them pitch in the old San Francisco ballpark, you'd have a nursery rhyme. Big spot here now for Nunez, who's been held hitless. Twins leading 3-0 and a chance to break the game open. The bases loaded and 1 out.
How about a wild pitch? Richards led the majors last year in wild pitches with 22 and only 26 starts. So he's capable of uncorking one, maybe.
114 at bats for Nunez. He's got 32 hits, 15 extra base hits. Corner infielders up. Nunez pops it up. Infield fly rule will be called. GIAVOTELLA fighting the sun, and he makes the catch on 1 pitch.
How did I know he was going to swing at the first pitch?
Nunez is retired, 2 down, and now Mauer. Twins who got a 2-out hit from Mauer in the 4th will look for another one here in the 8th. Mauer slashed a double into the left field corner with 2 outs in the 4th. Then Sanoa, Plouffe homered, and that's been the extent of the scoring for either team.
Joe got the double in the 4th inning to get the things going for the Twins. He needs a big hit here. Got a big hole on the left side.
Strike on the outside corner. 43 runs batted in for Mauer. Bounce to the right side, but foul. Coach Davis knocks it down. 2 strikes. Richards trying to keep his team in the game. It's a 3-0 game. He was unable to retire Trevor Plouffe with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 4th. He's got the same situation with Mauer here in the 8th.
Big at bat right here. Twins need to find a way to keep the thing going. Richards, on the other hand, needs to stop the bleeding right here and give his team a chance.
Breaking ball off the plate.
The Angels have done such a good job of scoring in situations like this as of late. The Twins could return the favor right here with a base hit.
One and 2. Struck him out on a pitch down and in. Perez fires to first. And the Twins leave the bases full in the top of the 8th.
Plane trip back.
Strike 1. Kyle Kubica, the batter, hitting for Featherston.
Kubica was just put on the active roster after David Freese got hit in the hand yesterday.
Swing and a miss.
We talk about all the time the pitcher's ability to get swings and misses and strikes where hitters don't have a chance to make contact. That was the 21st swing and miss in this game out of 26 hitters that Santana's faced. So not only does he have 7 strikeouts, but he's avoiding hitting bats. Doing a great job today.
Working quickly. Just his 85th pitch of the day. Down and in. He nearly hit Kubica like he hit JOYCE in the 7th inning, 2-2. The scheduled batters, Kubica, GIAVOTELLA, and Calhoun. Angels might have an issue at third base with FREESE out. There's a liner to Mauer, a bullet for the first out. The Angels will not be getting Aramis Ramirez, however. He's just been dealt from the Brewers back to the Pirates. The Twins will see Aramis Ramirez again in the next homestand. One down.
Pirates trying to add to their strength. They think that they have a chance, if not catching St. Louis, which is going to be tough. The Cardinals playing great ball, but being the wild card in their division, so, or in their league, I should say. So two teams that right now are in wild card contention, adding to their ball clubs.
Ball 1 to GIAVOTELLA. He has one of the 4 Angels singles. And a strike. If Santana can get GIAVOTELLA and Calhoun, then Trout would lead off the 9th inning, either against Santana, Perkins, or Mever. But you would ideally like to not face those guys with men on base. 2-1.
I got to believe that if Santana can get 2 quick outs here, they're going to let him go back out there for the 9th. He's had great pitch count in this game. He's been total command since the 1st inning. And you got 2 of the better right-handers coming up, and Santana has done a good job against Trout.
To the right field corner, Rosario makes the catch in fair territory. According to first base ump DJ Rayburn. That's twice in the game today we've seen Rosario, usually in left field, take the perfect angle on the ball in right field, running toward the line.
They did a good job of positioning him on this particular play, and he doesn't have to go all that far, but the sun's kind of a battle for him. Again, sharp defense is created from very quick-paced pitching, and Santana keeping his boys active in this game.
A couple of loud outs here in the 8th, and now Cole Calhoun. That popped up weakly to Santana. A 1-2-3-8. Trout will lead off the 9th, and we'll see whether ERVIN Santana will have a chance for a complete game shutout. But that's down the road. Trevor Plouffe will lead off, hit second for the Twins in the 9th inning. Last 3 games, the Twins have not gotten a very good starting pitching. Technically a quality start last night for Mike Pelfrey, but boy, did they get a gem today from ERVIN Santana, and it looks like he's done.
Yeah, they're shaking hands and giving out hugs, but they should. Santana pitched as good as you can expect. Great effort today against a very hot team here in Southern California. So Perkins will get the 9th, I'm sure.
Sano, Plouffe, and Rosario. And there's a first pitch strike. Sano 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Second game back after missing a couple of games with a sprained ankle. 1-1. Reported that the ankle felt just fine throughout the game last night. Speed pitch tickles the corner, 1-2. And that's important because at some point this month, as Marty mentioned last night, the Plouffes are expecting a baby, and Trevor will take some time off, and it would be nice to have Sano physically able to take over at third base. 2-2. I think the Twins want to see him out there maybe for a few games.
He's getting a steady diet of off-speed pitches this particular at-bat.
Morin, the new Angel pitcher. And a off-speed pitch tapped foul. Morin just 19 1/3 innings pitched. 3 home runs allowed. Swing, miss. Back for 95 miles per hour and got it by Sano for the first out.
Third baseman, number 24, Trevor Plouffe.
You're wondering, okay, 91 pitches for Ervin Santana. We'll take a look at the fastball, swing and a miss. I think one of the things in play here, it is a save situation, and remembering that Glenn Perkins in his last save opportunity Saturday in Oakland misfired, missed his first save opportunity of the year. Swing and a miss to Plouffe, by Plouffe. And so one of the reasons for an apparent pitching change here might be the fact that Twins want to give Perkins that next opportunity and get him back on the bicycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
A high pop-up foul and out of play, 2 strikes.
Well, the Twins just haven't had that many chances. Just the one for Perk. So they need him to get back on track.
Plouffe's 3-run home run on a 1-2 pitch in the 4th inning with 2 outs. The extent of the scoring here today. And now he strikes out on an 0-2 pitch. Warren with a very live arm, getting a couple of strikeouts, and now Rosario will hit. His contribution so far out in right field.
Done a great job defensively in right field. You see the sliding catch there earlier in the game. Last half inning, they positioned him well. He's going to his left again for line in the wall. Ervin Santana appreciates his effort.
Popped up over the Angel dugout. The Angels will send up Trout, Pujols, and Ibar in the 9th inning. Waved at. Speed pitch 20 miles per hour off his best fastball.
Warren really has a slow changeup. Kind of jumps at the hitter and pulls down the shade.
0-2. And Rosario lifts it to short right. Coming in is Calhoun. He won't get there. Rosario with a big turn. And now Rosario to second base. Safe at second. Calhoun kind of jogged after the ball, and Rosario looking right up the line at that, took a big turn, and at some point he decided, I've turned too big, I may as well try to go to second.
Mike Scioscia's out of the dugout, so he wants to review this himself. Really doesn't have a lot to lose here. The game's getting late, but he clearly sees that Rosario is in there safe. Joe West making the right call.
And how about that? The old-fashioned hook slide, feet first. Now, Rosario came off the bag, but
his other hand's already in, though.
And Ibar's glove didn't maintain contact with the sliding runner.
And that was, and now Mike Scioscia's coming out of the dugout. And something's going on where he wants home plate umpire Rob Drake to have a little talk with Joe West, who is the crew chief. And they're going to ask to review it. Now, this is crazy because
batter was in the box, pitcher was on the mound.
Right. And I don't know if Paul's going to come out and argue about this or not.
This looks like a different matter, and I have no idea what it might be about. And it might be the positioning of the pitcher and the batter, whether they had positioned themselves to the point where a challenge could not be executed. And they're going to take a look at this play. And Paul Molitor is up on the dugout step. With from here, looks like a quizzical look as to why the Angels, so far along in the resumption of play, are able to even take a look at this. Contact with the bag and then coming off, and then
the hand's back on the bag. So
technically that's not a hook slide. The hook slide requires that the foot stay in contact with the bag. But after all the players, including Byron Buxton, have been injured this year with a head first slide, it's kind of refreshing to see Rosario go feet first.
I don't think this will be overturned, but if it is, they're going to get an argument from Paul Molitor.
I think he's ready to pounce. As they continue to look at the replay in New York, there needs to be enough evidence to overturn the call. The call can stand. It can be confirmed. So 2 of the 3 rulings here will keep Rosario at second base. I don't think that there's Paul talking with one of the remaining umpires.
Yeah, that's home plate umpire Rob Drake.
As to why Mike Scioscia was granted a challenge.
We don't get all the looks that they get in New York here. But we're going to try to get a different angle. And this one might be a little bit different. You can't really tell where his foot's in. But the hand comes back down and hits the bag before Ibar gets his glove back on. So I just don't see any evidence that's going to overturn this.
They call him out. They call him out, and I don't understand why. Based on what we saw on replay. Apparently feeling that Ibar kept the tag on in the split second between the foot coming off and the hand coming on. Glenn Perkins comes into the game to try to pick up a save. His first since the All-Star break when he closed out the American League's win over the National League. Misfired on Saturday, and now a chance to pick up another save here in the road trip finale.
Leads the American League in saves with 28, looking to pick up number 29 here. Great effort for ERVIN Santana as he pitched his 8 solid innings, a shutout ball, only allowing the 4 hits.
Mike Trout takes a fastball and strike 1. Trout 2 for 3 against Glenn Perkins, and he takes strike 2. Perkins misfiring on the save, but the biggest hit and the one that blew the save was a busted bat flare to left field. High fly to center, and Hicks camps under it. 1 down. That'll bring up Pujols with the bases empty. Pujols a single his first time up. Back to the top of the inning, and we'll show you the angle that MLB says showed Ibar kept the tag on, and they might be right. Ibar from that angle looked like he may have had the glove on the back of Rosario's right ankle as he came off the bag. At any rate, Rosario gets a single, and hopefully it won't matter.
I thought he got his hand on the bag before his ankle came off the bag, but either case, it is what it is now. Perkins needs 2 outs to save this ball game.
1-1 to Pujols. Two and one. Perkins hasn't pitched since Saturday. Paul Molitor saying this morning he's talked it over with Glenn. Glenn feels he doesn't need tune-up innings. Fouled back. So if, say, the score had been 6-0, based on what we heard this morning, Twins would not feel compelled to run Perkins out there just to try to give him an inning to try to stay sharp.
I promise you they will at some point if he doesn't get to pitch, whether Perkins likes it or not.
2-2. And a ball golf to the left field corner. It'll hook foul.
He's not going to go 2 weeks without throwing.
Take a look at what's next. Brought to you by Century Link. Should be a fun weekend at Target Field. The Yankees coming to town. Michael Pineda's been pretty good. CC Sabathia, veteran. Nathan Eovaldi will start the Sunday game. Pujols right off the end of the bat, and thankfully veered foul. Looked like that was one of those balls that was going to roll and hit the bag. Still 2-2.
We talk about Pujols, he's always making contact, somehow avoiding strikeouts. Going to be a tough guy to strike out here.
Just 1 for 8 against Glenn Perkins. Taking low, it's 3-2. Santana, in addition to not giving up many hits, didn't walk a man. He did hit one. The comfort of pitching with a 3-run lead. Go right after him here, right?
Absolutely.
Popped up. Mauer near first base. Out number 2. And that'll leave it for Eric Ibar. Ibar 3 for 18 against Glenn Perkins. Surprised he's had that many at-bats against him. Ibar's been around since back in the days when Glenn was a starting pitcher. Strike on the outside corner.
A rare changeup from Perkins.
That'll beat the Tigers 3-2 this afternoon in 12 innings. Missing inside 1-1. the Twins win the finale in Anaheim. A brilliant afternoon for ERVIN Santana, making it a very happy homecoming.
They needed to win this game today. It was very, very important that they do, and they got a great performance on the pitching side of it from ERVIN Santana. A good job from Glenn Perkins to get a 1-2-3 ninth, and a very fun plane trip home for both of us because of this.
So we thank ERVIN Santana for that. Tom Hanneman, I don't know what it is. It's just one game, but a 2-4 road trip sure sounds a whole lot better than a 1-5.